Garrett, there's a
Yep.
new trader in town, and its name is ChatGPT Fund. They're giving us a run for our money or not. What is this fund, and how does it hold the claim that it can pick stocks better than a fund manager?
All right, Kenny, this is you and me, bud. This is just you and me the rest of the year just doing this, because pay attention. This is the greatest thing in the history of behavioral finance I've ever seen. There will be books written about this. So CNN did an article a couple of weeks ago saying that this ChatGPT fund can beat money managers. And basically this fund, which is operating, it's over on Twitter, where it initially started. They said, well, we believe that we can effectively beat the market, and it's called the GPT portfolio. So ChatGPT can pick stocks better than hedge funds was the claim by CNN, and these individuals who are not affiliated at all with OpenAI just said, fine, let's actually see if ChatGPT can do that. So they pumped a bunch of information into it, and they said, we want you to pretend that you're a money manager. We want you to find a bunch of stocks, and we want you to invest in it. Now, they gave it $50,000. The fund itself is now up to about $4 or $5 million. People are putting money into this. And the way that I've understood this, they're going to buy the top 20 stocks, and this is based on analysis by ChatGPT of reading news stories and then giving it a sentiment score. So right off the bat, on sentiment, I recognized the bulk of these stocks are likely momentum stocks. So if you look at some of these names, you're going to see a lot of strength in these stocks over the last couple of weeks. Here's where it gets really fun for us. They're effectively buying stocks on Monday and holding them for 2 weeks and then dumping them the following Monday. Now, the question here is whether or not ChatGPT can actually beat the market and beat managers, or do people like us come in and piggyback off these names and trade around them? How will algorithms respond to this buying? And ultimately, what will it look like in 2 weeks and 2 Mondays when some of these stocks are bought and other stocks are sold off? Yesterday, I was in with my group and somebody said, Garrett, this is the first time I've seen you smile in 2 weeks. And I basically realized, yep, because I know exactly what this is and what this potential can look like, especially if they are only buying stocks at a very specific time. It looks like 10 o'clock in the morning. So let's look real quick at ALB yesterday. Okay. And ALB, just pull this up real quick. ALB is Albemarle lithium stock, great long-term name. Kenny, 201 to 208 in 90 minutes. And if you're trading, if you look at some of the patterns of these stocks and you start to incorporate volume weighted average price, they've just given us something better than a lot of things that, Kenny, you might be looking for, right? You're always looking for stocks to trade. The reality is this basically is a massive list of very good, very liquid stocks that are being purchased with more money coming into this fund every single day. These have very high liquidity. They all have high liquid options chains. And if you're trading around volume weighted average price or looking for dips and reversions, it's all right here. So, this idea that they're going to be able to beat the market, I think it actually plays into the hands of day traders, because you're going to be able to kind of monitor this stuff and trade around it accordingly. Again, you just kind of utilize reversion this morning. In Apple,
hold on, Garrett.
You came off this second reversion band yesterday on Apple, 171, took you up to 172.80. You're going to be able to play with this in the short term, and it's just another algorithm that's probably going to end up buying the dip constantly.
But it's a 2-week hold, right? They're buying at 10 a.m. and holding for.
Well, they're starting the way that I've understand it. They're buying on Monday, but they're selling within 2 weeks. But the people who are signing up and adding more money to it, their shares are going to be purchased that morning.
Right.
Now, it's not a significant sum of money on the fund itself. My point is, this is giving the entire Reddit world exactly what it wants. to the ability to get away from GameStop and AMC. And now you've got a bunch of people who will, because AI said, go out and buy this stock, they're going to go out and buy it. They're going to trade it. This is going to give Reddit and all of those traders who were looking for something new to trade, this is going to become the new list of stocks to try to actively day trade on a day-to-day basis. They're going to be more liquid. There's going to be more crazy shifts in them. I don't know what this is going to produce, but I do think it immediately gives somebody like Kenny a little bit of a new list of ideas to always fall back on. And me kind of looking for some sort of reversion or looking for, a big move into oversold on a 30-minute chart, 40-minute or 1 hour chart on a two-day stretch to come in and speculate and buy the dip.
Garrett, you did it. You figured it out. It's been in the works, and now this all came into fruition. So
yeah,
we have this. Okay, so this AI fund. Those are the new meme stocks or whatever you want to call them. So
but they're all good companies. They're all good. Like, that's the thing. There's actually sound analysis, and there's also, these are the stocks that have the highest sentiment scores. That's all these numbers are. It is a sentiment score. It's like a tip rank sentiment score. They're heavily in the news. That's what they're basing it on, right? They've seen a lot of news articles because that's what they're data crunching. So they come in and they say, look, Berkshire's got a strong balance sheet, assets totaling. That's all well and good. They're not going to go out and buy shares of Berkshire A. They might buy Berkshire B. But you've got, and what's also interesting, there's a lot of strong momentum in these stocks. There are a couple of things that have pulled back, but it really is fascinating. And I think that it's going to create a little bit more of an interesting environment for people like Kenny, who are just looking for a list of very liquid names in companies that actually are justifiable to buy and own. They may see even wilder moves as a result of this.
So are we going to get back at, is there going to be another opportunity where the Reddit crowd can get back at the hedge funds? Is this going to be round two?
I don't think that that's what it's going to be. I think that AMC and GameStop were not necessarily about revenge in the second round of it. I think it really had more to do with the fact that these were the stocks that had the highest levels of implied volatility. And as a result of that, people wanted to actively trade it. You started to see a lot of people who were very, very strong, premium sellers in the market. They were actively selling these names. I have a little bit of criticism for the Renaissance and the Bridgewaters for getting into these names, but it basically just shows you that there is constantly that casino element to this market. And I'm going to talk about that today at 9:30, in addition to the AI fund and how you can trade it. On top of VWAP, there's lots of other ways that you can look to trade these funds. If there's capital coming in, you might sell put spreads just for a 2-week period, because if these stocks are going to get sentiment upside and a lot of people buying it because AI told them to do so, maybe you want to sell some premium and try to generate some capital in that way. There's a lot of different ways. We will talk about all this stuff today at 9:30.